Hello collective, it's Kai. Disclaimer, this is all just based on my own fuck. This is all just based on my experience. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what works best for you, but I'm just sharing because hopefully I can empower you guys as much as I have been making an effort to do so for myself. The title of this video, oh my god, voice crack, nice, thank you, on cue. The title of this video is when you grew up being very hard on yourself. This one's for you. Because the thing is, when that construct was so consistent, I had to recognize that it took a lot of like little shots of being soft with myself. And then as time went by, it kept expanding. And so now, instantaneously, I allow myself that presence. And it's not to say that I'm like avoiding the like things that I don't like, or the dissonance, or maybe like how I wish to continue to change. It's actually to acknowledge that even more, to encourage myself to be more soft, to be more lenient, I guess, on me. Because in the end, I'm the only person that is being hard on me. No one says these things that are like going through my mind, and like maybe it's just like showing me like I'm feeling very uncomfortable. In other words, that is truly what it showed me. Last night, I had some friends over and they're going to be moving out of Vegas soon. And so I had to recognize like, oh, I definitely overreacted because of my past pain when it came to my friend passing away. So it's like, it affected me. And then it had to come to this point of recognizing it's only really been 2 years since she's gone, and I've finally undergone this process of like actually addressing the pain and feeling it, and it's been, in other words, a year. So it's giving myself that grace, give yourself that grace to process things at your own pace, to not rush your process as well as not adding more pressure to you, because you don't deserve that, as well as like we could go into this whole thing like don't be so hard on yourself, but sometimes it's just one of those things that you're so used to. So it's literally not about like stop doing that. It's, for me, I feel like I'm just literally learning the other side of that so that I can become more familiar with it, because in the end I'm just very familiar with that kind of mindset, with that kind of way of being. And then I understood another thing of being able to like focus a little bit more on the ways in which I can celebrate my like progress, my process, my current presence, and what exactly has been brought forth. So in other words, gratitude as well. And then it's recognizing what exactly I'm grateful for. So it's like slow increments, slow like little doses, so that you could just feel it. And I mean this in a way where it's funny, because I literally just got into my head like this. You know how like you grow up and, well, I don't know if you know, but I read this article about how when you grow up in such a traumatizing environment, it literally affects the neurotransmitters in your fucking brain as a child. And I laugh because it's like, that is why a lot of traumatized people an explanation was that is why a lot of traumatized people like go towards things that give you those doses of like dopamine and things like that. So in other words, drugs. But but in reality, I'm just like literally feeling myself like rest in my own space, accept my own humanness, and still be okay with letting go and releasing and detaching, and therefore bringing my attention back to my present moment. And that's one of the biggest things, is like expanding the present moment, because of like the habitual nature of overthinking. And I did kind of share that with my friends last night, and I was just like, oh my gosh, when they left, I was like, I said it. And it made me uncomfortable. And I was recognizing like, I am still experiencing so many new things, so many new people. And though, yes, there are people in my life that are still new but feel more familiar, It's that exact thing that brought me back to my home space, because I was like, oh my gosh, so much has changed. Of course, my environment, my interactions have changed. The conversations have changed. The things that I'm listening to, the things that I'm picking up on, as well as like what exactly I do want to talk about is giving me more clarity on the things that live in me, the conversations that I also am passionate about, the things that I'm focused on. And it's like, it's so crazy because it is kind of like the death of the deception with the self that you're not worthy and like you're not abundant, when you are. But it's like it requires to become aware of those things, like small steps. Sometimes it's big bounds, sometimes it's exponential growth, and other times it's small steps. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I seriously I'm encouraging myself to not be so hard on myself, because truly it's like I have walked away from so like the scarcity mindset, the victim mentality, and like I really feel like I've healed this aspect of myself where like I felt like I wasn't ever going to be able to like attract like a committed relationship. But hearing what my friends were sharing about like their own committed relationships, it was just like interesting, because I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so many people in this world who are literally like involved with that. And it's like, it's so funny because it is kind of one of those things where you see it in another person. You see it in another person, and the things that are being reflected back to you are going to be presented to you in your material realm, your physical dimensional experience. And I'm a spiritualist, so like once again, like you don't have to apply that whole mentality if it doesn't work for you, but like I really feel like I see that every single time. And it's like when like for example, let's say like you get rejected, right? And it's like I changed my whole mindset on that in terms of like understanding that it is divine redirection, because of me constantly putting my energy out, being so used to putting my energy out to the point of debilitation. And then now it's like building those boundaries, small steps, speaking up, and then talking to the people that yes, I do care about, but truly who care for me too. And it's one of those things where the ways that other people are going to care for you, it's going to differ. And sometimes it might not work with you. So it's still being able to be discerning. And then, oh my God, I guess I'm locking in right now because truly, I feel like I've never experienced this before. And it's like so crazy because it's like, I literally could be so fucking hard on myself. And I'm not even gonna say the things that my mind was trying to say to me. I genuinely just brought my awareness back to this present moment, and I was like, I'm at peace, I'm safe here, it's okay to feel uncomfortable and to be afraid. I'm actually really proud of you for challenging your comfort zone. I'm really proud of you for challenging your comfort zone in this way. Because I was saying in a past video that like I used to like really challenge my comfort zone in so many different ways, but when it comes to like the emotional world, the emotional landscape, that is still something that I am developing this skill set with. It's a skill, and I mean this in a way where like you literally have to practice it. You have to practice not being so hard on yourself. It has to come in the ways that work for you. Because truly, even if I were to say like stopping so hard on yourself, like for me at least, if I were to hear that, I'd be like, bruh, you don't even know my fucking situation. I don't even know why you're telling me what to do. And then it's also like, now I'm like, oh, other people's ways of being are actually teaching me like how I can expand myself, how I can like be a lot more soft, but also like how I can like reattune my attention into things that really do matter for me. And it's still like, it's that whole divine redirection thing. Like when people leave my space, I feel like that is a lesson. I feel like that is a gift in its own way. And that might be like a little bit of a fucked up way to say it, but like truly, like when my friend passed away, it taught me so much. It taught me so much about how I was disregarding my external environment because of like me being in solitude, coming out of solitude, feeling like it was just weird. I had to go through that though, because it made me realize like I do want to value my environment and the people in my vicinity, as well as those who I am connected to, that I do connect with, that are like maybe very distant and like far away from me. But like, it doesn't change the fact that I care for them. And it's like, it's crazy because it's like, even then, when they're not responsive to that, when they don't have the space, it doesn't dictate that, like it doesn't dictate like me giving my care to them. It actually just tells me like, oh, they don't have the space. I don't want to cross that boundary. I'm going to respect that boundary, and therefore I'm going to redirect that energy back to me, because that energy is me, that is mine. And it's like, it's not like a possession thing. It's actually because I want to give it so much that maybe I do need to give it to myself. And it's so interesting because it's like, my reaction to people is like my level of awareness of self, and then at the same time my perception of others is a reflection of me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I am learning that maybe my own awareness of how, for example, like I'm not always paying attention to like what people are saying to me, and therefore like it did teach me like, oh, I actually just I don't care for this topic. Like I don't care for plugging into this energy. It's not about these other people, it's about me. And so therefore, it's like when I'm like when I'm becoming a lot more aware of myself, I understand that like I do need to give myself grace, because I've made so much progress, and this is just showing me how I can continue to propel my progress and be very intentional now, even more intentional than I was before previously. It's not a bad thing when like I say like I was sharing like, oh, I felt like they didn't really like me, and it wasn't the case. And it just taught me like, I was overthinking, or like I was just being silly, and I didn't bring forth that courage to address my fear as well as show that I care. And I I don't know, like I really want to work on this. And it's like, it's crazy because it's like I would have gotten so, like there was this past experience where like I would just get so like embarrassed. I would be so ashamed of that. I'd be like, oh my god, I literally created this whole like fucking situation in my head. And it's like, oh wait, I literally proved myself wrong. I proved myself wrong. And it's so important because it's like I'm humbling my own experience because I'm relaxing, I'm resting in it. Like, I'm not forcing it outside of myself. I'm literally coming to terms with me and being like, just because someone else may not have experienced the loss of someone, it doesn't mean that they don't deserve to know like how that has affected me, as well as like it doesn't mean that I need to share that as well. Just because like they might not have that like level of like understanding, I guess, it's just, it doesn't deter me from my path. It doesn't deter me from my own, like my own process, my own presence, my own way of being. And so I'm really just understanding like being myself may be so different at times, but at the same time it is still like there is a level of resonance that is going to be attained, whether it is subconscious or unconscious. It's outside of me now. Once I relay this information, it is now outside of me, and I do not control that. And I feel like that has really helped me on my journey, just to like release that. Because in the end, like it was like kind of like asking like where was that coming from? Where was that coming from? Where like when someone says something, like it has like power over you. And that was what I felt like. It's acknowledging how you felt in the past so that you can apply, if you have the space to apply something different in this present moment, because the past is the past. That is what it is. And it's not to like repress or minimize the amount of like pain that you've gone through. It's actually to give it more awareness, to show yourself support and to work on empowering yourself and encouraging like this presence of like integrating the things that actually support you, integrating the ways that you feel like safe, and integrating the ways in which like that awareness of like, oh, that didn't make me feel safe, so maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. And it's like, eventually there will definitely come a day, I promise, as long as you remain consistent in this love. Because I think one of the biggest things, well, not I think, but truly, like, my level of like redirecting myself from the fear to love has become a lot more consistent, because I recognize, I'm literally so used to enticing fear, because that is literally what I was taught to. Like, it was like I took a part in that too, you know, like I'm taking responsibility for that. I'm not trying to blame other people's actions, but how I was responding to that was like, I started to literally like force myself to do things because I was afraid, and it did bring a lot of growth, but a lot of unstable growth, you know, like a lot of unstable skill sets, things that like really didn't like work for me, like things that I wasn't even passionate about. And then it was also like, in this moment I'm feeling the fear. The fear is present. So then how can I allow myself to evolve in this moment? How can I allow things to change? Love. And then I instantly relaxed, and I was like, oh my God, that is so simple. It is so much easier. And I was like, oh my goodness, holy shit. I'm literally showing up for my inner child, and like I want to cry, but it's also like, it's just so crazy. Like I literally am like, wow, like, what? There's a little dog. What? I think. What? Where did you come from? What the fuck? And it's kind of like one of those things where you really have to like, not really. I'm just gonna say it like that, okay? But it's like one of those things where you have to like see your inner child in this present moment, like embody your inner child and like literally actively heal it. And I feel like I am like in many ways like not like reverting, but it is kind of like that too. Like it's almost like this cross section of like the multiverse, that past version of me being in the multiverse and like integrating that into this present moment, and still like retaining this presence in terms of my matured being, which is like me just being older and experiencing more things. And it's like because of the things that I've experienced, the pain that I've gone through, like I really feel like that has taught me to be more compassionate, to be more kind and caring. I'm like wondering if that dog was a stray or lost, because it looked like a puppy. Anyways, that is the video. I really hope this helped, because wow, I like literally, it's like catching yourself. Oh my God, there it is again. Oh, okay. Because sometimes people in my neighborhood just let their dogs out. I don't know, it's like a thing. It's interesting. And I'm not saying that my neighborhood's not safe, but it's also like, I don't know, I'm not familiar with that. So I really, really pray that this fucking helped you, because I swear to God, it's just so much easier now. It's just so much easier. Because then I'm like, okay, it's okay that I'm uncomfortable. I'm here for me, you know? So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to what I had to say and allowing me your presence, truly. And thank you for being you. Thank you for being alive, truly. And I'm sending you guys so much love and support on your own spiritual journey. Bye, collective.